favor. This is one more, please.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Otra, por favor. My name is Richie, and thank you for spending time checking out our content, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Ghost TV. We greatly appreciate it. As you guys know, this platform was created to emphasize on stories that have to do with soccer, life, and culture here in Austin. And with that, our goal is always to just focus on try to focus on the good things, not so much, not because of fakeness, but more because of authenticity, and that's where we try to go for every time we record an episode or we have a interview with a guest. And today's a very special one because I'll be sharing about my story. I'll be sharing about I know if you guys seen my personal social media. I just received my green card, and it's pretty much it's sort of a how can I say, something that I've been looking forward to ever since I came to this country. So in this episode, we're gonna talk about the timeline, the process, the forms. However, I do want to add a disclaimer that anything that is said in this episode today, it's not a legal advice. However, it is more of informational for informational purposes. Sorry. So any questions you have, anything that you feel like you can potentially be eligible or whatnot, I recommend consulting with attorneys. I can provide links of attorneys that I've seen the reviews and that I know that they seem to do a pretty good job. So with that, before we continue, I also want to just say thank you to my wife, my family, pretty much all of my friends that have shown their support, and this has been a long, I would say 24 years, but starting May 20th of this year, that's when we turn the page and we try to move forward and continue to contribute. Also, before we go into the timeline on pretty much how I got the green card, I want to just share that at the moment we have a goal. It's just to grow to 600 subscribers on YouTube. So share with your friends, with your family, and help us meet that goal before the end of June. So yeah, let's get started with the purpose of this video. Why I want to talk about the process. Why I want to talk about how I got my green card. I want to talk about it because immigration is a very divisive subject. It brings a lot of divisions, even up to now. We look at Congress, look at what's going on. So we want to, we don't want to turn it into a debate. We just want to share stuff that I know, stuff that that we've done in my family, that I've seen friends do. So we want to share that yes, some of us, we came to this country illegally. Some of us did break the law at one point. However, we also did everything we could to adjust our status by paying penalty fees, by waiting a certain time or a certain period, by checking to see if we're even eligible, also by contributing, paying taxes, going to school, and volunteering in churches or nonprofit organizations. So the goal for this episode is just to highlight the immigrant story and highlight that there's good people out there that I believe should be able to have eligibility to adjust their status. I know people that have been in this country for more than 2 decades, longer than I have, and they can't adjust it because of certain things. And I think I do, at the end of this episode, I'm probably going to share if I was to be in charge of something, what would be my plan, and just know that at the end of the day, we're here in this country contributing. Yes, there's always, those bad apples that spoil the bunch, but the whole bunch is millions of people that are doing everything possible to do something in this country, to seize the opportunities and also love it by understanding more of the culture and understanding more of the story of this country. So yeah, with that, I want to first start with the background of what the process that we started. What helped us become eligible. I want to share a bit of a background of how we became eligible, and it was through Section 245I of INA. Congress enacted Section 245I in 1994 and allowed certain individuals who were ineligible to adjust their status to pretty much be qualified after a family petition or labor certification, and also paying a penalty fee. The law was passed 1994, but it was cut off in January 14th, 1998. And then before Clinton left office, they signed off to restart the program. And the program restarted in December 21st, 2000, with a new cutoff date of April 30th, 2001. This was a key moment because as we go forward, we're gonna talk about the timeline. Just the dates are important, and also keeping track of your records is important. So there's a good amount of requirements to become eligible through Section 245I, which what we will do is we will provide the links to that information, and then from that, I would say consult with an attorney, and that way you don't feel like you're gonna be misrepresented by information that that it's not correct. So a little bit of when we came to America and how 245I applied to us was we arrived to Texas in June 2000, and we entered without inspection, pretty much crossing the border. And about a month after we came to Texas, we started attending to a church, got involved in the church, and also started, school in August of 2000. It was my freshman year at that time. So from there, now moving forward, my parents were working in the company, and they petitioned for my parents. They sent the application through a labor certification, and the application had a receipt date with immigration for April 27, 2001. Now, the cutoff date after it was restarted was April 30th of 2001. So we were pretty close on the cutoff date. We kept records of pretty much the application with the receipt date, stamp, and also records from the attorneys that my parents used in the past to pretty much at least know, like, hey, what's going to happen next. Unfortunately, the labor certification was discontinued because my parents' company was sold to another guy, and he didn't want to continue with the process. However, even though the petition was withdrawn and wasn't approved, my parents were still grandfathered because of the receipt date of April 27, 2001, which is, once again, before the cutoff date of April 30th, 2001. So from there, kept all the records, right? And we pretty much moved forward with life. We continued to go to church. My parents, they continued their jobs. I was able to go to school, graduate from college. Now we move into 2012. That's when DACA came in. It was executive action through Obama. I don't know how much DACA helped in my case or not, but I sent my DACA application on August 15th of 2012, and it was approved November 2012. and I've had a DACA ever since. So again, moving forward, we are now in September 19th, 2020. That's when I got married, and pretty much my wife and I, we met, I would say 7 years prior to when we got married. So we had a long history of being together, and we had proof of, hey, we it was a bona fide marriage. When we had our marriage certificate and had friends that attended our wedding. It was during the pandemic. It was a short wedding, small wedding, but it was fun. So now coming into, hey, what are we gonna do to adjust my status? We decided it's time to file the application, file the petition, and look into which documents we needed to send. So with that, we needed to find how can we be eligible. And that's keeping all the records of Section 245I on hand. From that, I told my wife, like, hey, you know what? We're going to do this process by ourselves. And I'm confident enough because I know my story that this could get approved. It could also go sideways without using an attorney and could have gotten approved, could have gotten to remove proceedings. Thankfully, that didn't happen. So we sent the paperwork on December 14th, 2023, which was late last year. And in the package that we sent to immigration, we sent, I would say, about 210 pages, forms, evidence, and pretty much anything we felt like we needed to build a good case. Because for this type of stuff, one thing that I understand from hearing from attorneys is when you're filing a petition with immigration, you want to give them a good cause of why you should be approved for your adjustment or petition or even for a work permit. So in this package, we send Form I-130, which is the petition for immediate family relative. And that's, as my wife, she's a U.S. citizen, so she filed that for me. We also included Form I-485, which is to, register and adjust the permanent status here in the country. Also, when you're in the USCIS immigration website, there's a part in that a portion in that part of the page where it says if you've done 245I or if you think you're eligible for 245I, you file that application, but you also pay a penalty fee, which is pretty much repaying another penalty fee. So we filed that application with I-130 and I-485, and along with that, you have to show proof of who's sponsoring you and financial support. So we ended up also doing Form 864, which is the Affidavit of Support. That pretty much shows that, hey, the person petitioning for you, is going to be able to take care of you in case it needs to in the country. So thank you, babe, for doing that for me. And then you also need to send medical records, which is Form 693, and that's through as a certified physician that is assigned by USCIS, which we'll also drop the link in the descriptions of this video. So if you need to find a physician, you can find it. It's a pretty quick process. All they do is they check your blood work, your lungs, make sure they're good. Your blood work is for tuberculosis. I believe it's also all your shots. And for any STDs, I don't have any. And yeah, I have my producer here like, really? Oh yeah, that's how they are sometimes. And then even with DACA, I have a work permit. I also send another employment authorization form, Form 765, and I send it just in case because I felt as, hey, the timing of it, I can probably get it without having to renew DACA. But I did end up getting approved for the work authorization, which was good. And we also in this package we also send I would say the tax returns, 3 years of tax returns of my wife and I filing jointly. We sent our copy of our marriage certificate, passport photos of myself, birth certificate, and then a copy of the petition that was originally filed in 2001 with the receipt date of April 27, 2001. Now, everything was received before the end of December 2023, and we move forward to this year. I check in my case status, and we received what is called a request for evidence, RFE, and this request for evidence was to provide additional information that we had a bona fide marriage. I wasn't really nervous about it. Like, hey, they want more information. Just whether you send information that you had, it wasn't enough or not. It's like you have to send it. You send whatever you can. At the end of the day, even if you have to resend the information you already sent to them in the past, just make copies of it and send it to them. Give them more of the reason why they should approve your case. So we also ended up sending affidavits from our friends that have known us for a while or attended to our wedding. So a group of our friends, pretty much, I think it was like 6 affidavits that we sent in the package, and that went pretty smoothly. It was approved in. It was filed on March 8th. It was a couple of weeks after we received the RFE, and it was approved. The petition was approved on April 17th, 2000 of this year. The RFE that we received, the first one was for the petition for the bona fide marriage. So now you have half of the way. Your petition from your wife to you is approved. So now that's one part of the case, which I would say it's the easiest part of an immigration case when you're trying to adjust your status and having a petition approved, because now it says, hey, you're actually eligible to adjust your status. But the toughest part comes on 485I. Now, we got what is known as a NOID, is Notice of Intent to Deny. And that one was sent to us that was what the letter of the NOID was written April 16th, which was a day before our application for our petition I-130 was approved, which is, our approval was April 17th. So I don't know if immigration missed some paperwork. I don't know if they look at the whole file. Also, the NOID came from a different immigration office, so it was shaking. I saw it. Luckily, I was going to go to Galveston because that's where we used to live when we were younger, and I stayed an extra day. I was pretty nervous, but I ended up getting school records, which includes transcripts. Went to the church we used to go to when we first came to Texas and asked the pastor if he can write a letter, pretty much stating that he's been knowing us for a while, and we attended to the church in July of 2000. The NOID wanted records of pretty much us proving that the principal beneficiary of the original petition back in April 27, 2001, that was my father. So send my birth certificate again, just to let them know, like, hey, it's my dad. Send copies of my copies of photos with my dad and I. And we also pretty much put together another big package. This one was about maybe 180 pages, and letting them know that, hey, my father also has been in the country before December 20th, 2001, which is what they were also asking. Luckily, with the transcripts and with the letter from the church, that helped out a lot. So moving forward, they received the application. Sorry, not the application. They received the additional information we sent, and after that, like, you know what, we did it. We did everything we could. Now it's up to immigration. Moving forward, we get the approval of adjustment on May. We see the update in our case status on our website that the adjustment was approved. It was approved pretty much on April 22nd, 2024, which is a couple of weeks ago. That was a relief. That was something that when you see that, you're still thinking like, damn, like it's true. So you're seeing, when the card was produced and when it was mailed. The card arrived to our mailbox yesterday, June 3rd of 2024. And yeah, it's just right here. I'm not gonna show the front, but I'm just gonna show the back. I would say it's been a journey, going through this process. A lot of doubts, a lot of sometimes you're thinking like, man, is it even worth what you're doing? And like in this country, because sometimes as an immigrant, people that there's DACA recipients, friends that I know, and can probably agree with me, it feels as we want to contribute, give us a chance. I was fortunate that my parents did that application in 2001, and that helped us get grandfather to get the green card approved. But in that, I would say I didn't really started getting desperate, or I didn't start losing my shit. Sorry if you hear me cuss, until last year. Talking more about mental health and talking more about men's mental health awareness month, which is June. Last year it was a tough year. Just a lot of stuff goes through your mind because you're thinking, when is this gonna change? When are we going to see something different? When are you going to live permanently in a country that you love so much, and sometimes the country doesn't love you back, so you have to prove it to them. So me and my wife, we were just like, we decided to go ahead and do it. And yeah, like during this time, it was tough, but I do remember a couple of friends. I did a similar video last year, but I also did it like pretty much stating how I felt about immigration, especially since I knew they were going to take DACA away. I was someone like at the Q2 stadium, came to me like, dude, like I saw the video of you and how you felt, and he's gonna let you know, like, keep going, man. Like, you're doing some good stuff, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna get it eventually. I was like, thank you, appreciate it. Like, and for me, so I was like, we already have it, so like, it's easy for you to say, but now I understand, like, you gotta keep going. It's tough, it's hard, but I've never shared this publicly, but I've shared it to like 2 people, maybe, not even my family. But last year I had thoughts of like running away, and I also had thoughts of suicide. And yeah, I wanted to let you guys know that like we talk about mental health here, and to take care of your mental health, to if you're going through something, whether you have papers or not, trying to find help. Like I said earlier, I'm privileged and fortunate that I have a media outlet where we can talk about this publicly. I know immigration is a very tough subject, but I wanted to use Otra por favor to tell you guys that, like, hey, like, we're all going through shit, sometimes we put in a sort of smiling face and whatnot, and there's stuff that people don't know, and whatever you do in life, like, work hard, keep records of everything if you're an immigrant, and just be ready. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I wish this administration here gets their shit together before they leave, in case Trump comes. If Trump comes, it might be hard. Who knows? But if there's one thing that I probably, like, if it was up to me and someone was to ask me, like, hey, Richie, how would you fix this immigration, problem? I would just, say have more security in the border, right? But also anyone that wants to come and contribute, and then come and contribute. But anyone that has been here for a good while, a decade, 2 decades, and then want to adjust their status, to reconsider the to like 245I as an option for people to adjust their status, and of course pay a penalty fee. I don't know. Right now it's $1,000 per person to adjust the status through this Life Act. But I would just make it a little more expensive. So inflation and its pricing is different compared to 21 years ago to now. So do something like that. But I think something has to change at the end of the day. Something has to change to where you don't have people living in fear anymore. People that are here that I know that, immigrants, family members I know that I have, that they have a business, their kids are actually, it's the business under their kids' name, and they're doing all the work, but they're putting, contributing to the country by paying taxes, also involved in their church. So that's what I would say. Like, just give people a chance to adjust their status, and then anyone that also has a criminal record, shouldn't be allowed to adjust it. I know this might sound like a very asshole thing to say, but if you're not contributing, you gotta go, man. But if you're contributing, if you want to be part of, hey, I want to do something in this country, hopefully, Biden's administration can do something about it, because they promise so many things during the campaign and they're not delivering. So who knows what's going to happen in the elections? So that's why it's important to vote. I align my way to where it helps immigrants. Some people might not agree with that, and that's fine. But where I want to go is just, at the end of the day, whether you're left, right, middle, center, back, forward, defense, goalie, we're all human beings. We're all human beings. We're all trying to do some shit here, some good shit, and do something for our families. Take advantage of opportunities, go to school, graduate from school, open up businesses, whatever. Just, keep that in mind. But with that being said, I know it's this Otra, I don't really like to make it about me at times. I like to make it more about other stories. But I felt as I wanted to share this with you guys, because you also have to be your biggest cheerleader, and you also have to, how can I say? You always have to celebrate your wins, because you put the work in there. Whether it's a business, whether it's school, even with your kids and your family, you're the one that's putting in the effort to make shit happen. So, that's why I wanted to do it and share my story. But I'm doing it from in a sense of humility, and I'm also doing it from something that I want to close where, I wish, and I've said it in the past, this couple of weeks, but I wish everyone that it's trying to adjust their status or wants to adjust their status, gets a chance to adjust their status to one day feel what I felt whenever I saw the notice change online and I saw it approved. I wish anyone that's working hard to have this feeling, and know that, hey, I know I know a lot of people out there are doing good shit, and I hope you guys get this. I hope you guys get what you guys deserve, and yeah, I want to close with this. Thank you guys for always checking us out. And this episode will be available pretty much in International Week, and also during Men's Health Awareness Month. So check on your boys, make sure they're doing good, and make sure that if they're going through something, they can have someone to talk to. Or if you need to go to the therapist, go to therapist. I'm actually gonna end up going to therapy eventually. But yeah, take care. Se cuidan, se portan bien, y arriba la América.